Hello, everyone. It is the Newsy News Nooner, and we have some news. And I swear to goodness, y'all, I am trying, but my tangents have tangents today. Yes. Goodness gracious, you are still here. Yes, Ghostery, I will try not to double click anything today. Thank you, Eris, so much for doing all the moddy things. Take a minute, to thank mods all the time. They are back here doing all the awesome things for those of us who stream. And that is just so awesome because when left alone and given a wrench, I tend to erase things and or block things, not on purpose. Good morning or good afternoon, HT. I guess it's not a Newsy News Nooner for everyone. So wherever you are, if it is morning, night, or noon, we are here with some news and some crazy news. So hopefully I will catch you up on some news and current events and the break between trial and court cases for lunch. So, our first story. Yep. If it's a single entendre, y'all know I'm there. And welcome, Pale Rogue One. So, the first thing we have is that Will Smith denies the claim that he had smexy time with Dwayne Martin, which, you know what? If he did, I don't care, sir. You deserve happiness. Jada is just doggone awful. It's morning there. Well, there you go. You're but, yeah, sir, I don't care if it man, woman, zim, zer, lizard person, find someone that loves you better than Jada, sir. I don't care. Will Smith's rep is slamming a rumor that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air alum had sex with fellow actor Dwayne Martin in a dressing room years ago. Y The story is quote, "The story is completely fabricated and the claim is unequivocally false," a rep for Smith, 55, told TMZ on Tuesday. Absolutely. Y'all, lady kind, lady kind, we need to do some self-policing. We're gonna need to have an excommunication. Miss Jada Pinkett Smith, I'm hereby revoking your power of the sisterhood. I am sorry. You have done used your feminine powers for all the evils. You have destroyed a man who seemed to be like a genuinely nice-ish person in Hollywood, which could be a complete lie, but still, he seemed to be a fairly normal person in Hollywood, so still a little bit nuts. But you done destroyed it. So, by the power vested in me by no one but me, I have revoked your ladyship pass. That is it. You may still be female, but you are no longer a lady. You need to have a whole lot of repentance for that for before the whole ladyship comes back. I rarely do this, but the power vested in me, I've done this. Martin, 58, appeared in the Smith-led 90s sitcom Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the role of Dr. Martin for one episode and then played one of Smith's poker friends in season 4. The Post reached out to both Smith and Martin for comment. Rumors of the alleged affair first emerged on Monday after Smith's alleged former assistant, brother Bial. Look, y'all, I am not trying to miss Bilal. Look, something. I haven't liked her in a minute, but teetering on hate for her, and I don't have the hate gene. Don't worry about hating her. We have excommunicated her from the Sisterhood of Ladyship. She is now just a female until she earns back her right to be called a lady. It's just sorry, ma'am, you have done used your powers for evil. Apparently, he alleged that he caught the pair doing some things in the dressing room. Now, I get a little bit side eye when you have people that are former people coming through with all these stories after they've done been fired. or, went on their separate ways, and it comes out that they're fired later. Uh, his assistant, continued to graphically describe the scene, referring to, "Oh, Lord, well, he." Um, well, so we are working up. I got one of those, so it's like a little grinder thing. So I am working on just touching his paws now because you had a great idea, and just turning it on around him. So, hopefully, we're getting to the point, and maybe if he stays asleep, I'll try to do it while he's asleep, but hopefully, we will get to the point by the end of the week that he's more comfortable with me touching his paws. We had a kinda rough, walk. I got a new it hurts my leg when he tries to pull ahead, so I got a new, harness thingy that's supposed to be calming for him. Well, to say we didn't like it is an understatement of all understatements. So, it was a longer walk than Mr. Fribert anticipated, and it was, him not being able to pull ahead because it's got a little thing that goes right behind his ears and then a little loop that goes here and around his nose bit, and it's supposed to help with him not pulling, but it's not supposed to be as mean as the choky thing, because I don't wanna do the choky thing. So but he was not having it, so it was him doing somersaults on the grass, and I'm like, "For the love of all." Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just he's gonna have to learn that if he wants to go on walks with mom, because he wants to pull and pretend to be alpha, he's gonna have to wear it. But any hoozle, yeah, this guy is just wearing my grandma's coat. I think my grandma had a pillow like this. I mean, rock it if you like it, but I think my grandma had a pillow like this in her house. So the inflammatory remarks come a week after Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, denied she and Will Smith not are gay during the primetime special with who keeps putting these people on the internet? I did have a stick of cheese. I had all the goodies. So I'm slowly learning I need a fanny pack when training because you gotta have the little bag and the clicker and the little treats, and he doesn't pay attention to any of them but the treats, but, and welcome, fast group. Welcome to dog training by Mo when both Fry and I are distracted by squirrels. So, I don't know why we keep giving this lady specials. I don't know. The pair's marriage has always been subject to rumors, including that they are in an open marriage, that they are swingers, that one of them is using the other as a beard. It I don't care. Um, Pinkett said none of that was true, but Pinkett has driven past the zip code where truth lives, but she does not have any real estate purchased. She has neither a home nor an address in the zip code where the truth lives, if you wanna hear it put delicately. So, uh, why is she dressed like I don't even whatever this is, someone should be fired. Just fired. Anyhoozle, I'm not gonna spend any more time on this woman destroying Will Smith more. Will, again, sweetie, honey pie, darling, whatever. Anyhoozle, I don't care who you love, but find someone that loves you back better than this woman. No one should be, just humiliating you in front of every single person and, their uncle and using you for clout and every other thing. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't care. He doesn't want you to play with him. He any eh, Find someone that loves you better. You are 50 years old. You've got a whole lot of life left. It is not worth staying with someone who makes you miserable and humiliates you in front of God and everybody and your great Aunt Edith and your second cousin Cletus, okay? Just look, I'm telling you, look, I speak only for myself, but but I am sure there are many fans of yours who have seen you in other movies and, grew up with you as, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who would be just fine with you just being happy and finding someone that, loves you back and is nice to you. So, I'm just throwing that out there. Anti-Mo advice. Life's too sh life's too long and too short to spend it with a reptilian, allegedly. Allegedly, YouTube. I'm just saying she wore her outside skin or her inside skin outside on that dress. I don't know. Anyhoozle, now we go to this woman from Law and Crime, a woman who became acutely psychotic after smoking the devil's lettuce, then allegedly stabulated a man 108 times before trying to unalive herself, is on trial for involuntary manslaughter. Um, Holy good night nurse. I mean, I've only heard of this in, like, the propaganda film, Reefer Madness. I'm sure there is a possibility. Don't do illicit substances, children. Apparently, there there can be consequence. You 2, Imma take you off camera if you're gonna fight. It's not puppy kitty fight time. Although, Loki, I have my money on you. Loki is the orange cat. Me. So, Loki would be the big, giant orange cat, and then, okay, you 2 are done. Can't take between kids and cats, you just can't take them anywhere. They are just of course. Anyway, a California woman who previously practiced as an audiologist is currently on trial in Ventura County for involuntary manslaughter over the stabbing death of a man she briefly dated in 2018. Now, why isn't that we never get these trial notices about these things? Because I could do a trial on this. Key to the relatively minor charge she faces is her chemically induced state of mind at the time of the bloodletting. She was high, authorities said. Bryn Sprecher, 32, is accused of stabbing Chad O'Melia, 26, 108 times in his Thousand Oak condo in Conjeo Valley, roughly 40 miles northwest of Los Angeles, around 1 a.m. on Memorial Day 2018. Yeah, and Fry doesn't realize he's bigger now. I mean, he still thinks he's a little guy, so he's he's Fry gentle with the cats, and the cats will put him back in their place or his place. First charged with murder, prosecutors asked for a lesser charge in late September of their own volition after a forensic psychologist submitted a report that found she was, quote, acutely psychotic during the extreme bout of violence. The judge overseeing the case eventually granted the state's requested reduction. The apparent cause of Sprecher's psychosis was 3 hits from a device filled with the devil's lettuce. After the last, puff, if you will, she admittedly threw into a rage that, with 3 separate knives, took the life of a man she barely knew. Now, I am I'm not trying to be silly because or anything, and I use CBD oil for pain stuff and things that are all legal in my state. But my biggest problem is that I then want to eat everything. I have never gotten stabulary, if you will. Now, I know that things can affect you in all different ways, but this seems to be unless she had, like, um, the guy flying the airplane and tried to open and shut off the, like, magic mushrooms kinda thing, I'm finding it hard to believe that it was just, some sort of reefer madness kinda thing, but apparently a forensic psychologist agreed. So, okay, alright. So, with 3 separate knives, she also tried to take herself out that day. The state's request was a shock and an ambush to the O'Melia's family, who, according to Santa Clara-based radio station KHTS, so apparently these prosecutors fought for a reduction in charge, mostly on, again, while it's hard to balance both, let's say, the emotional side of the quest for justice and what you can legally prove to get certain charges, it seems that the prosecutor or the state did not talk to the victim's family about the need to reduce charges because of the level of culpability that was not there. Um, due to the acute psychosis. So, unfortunately, the state, sort of blindsided the victims, which is completely ridiculous and should never happen. Someone from the prosecutor's office who is a lawful law lawyer should always be there to explain to the victims why it is that regardless of, we really wish that there was a way that we could, charge you, for you, this case should be first degree. You have lost someone, we understand, but going by the law, we can't do that. And I understand that your feelings, this seems unfair and unjust, but this is what we are bound by law to do. And it would be a terrible thing to have to do, have to explain, have to sit with the family, while they process those things. So I understand that it is probably a sucky job, but someone from the state prosecutor's office should have done this, and shame on you for not. Because the state went on to say, quote, "You are supposed to fight for the victim and his family. I'm sitting there listening to them, and it was a group of people that were out there purely acting purely from either fear or something," Sean O'Melia, the victim's father, said. "Maybe it's politics, publicity, I don't know." Again, all of this misunderstanding could have been taken care of by simply having one of the prosecutors. I mean, if she was acutely psychotic, she did not have a grasp on right or wrong, and that is the basis of our laws. If she knew wrong and she picked up the knife, if you will, then that is a different charge than this, and you need to have someone explaining this to the victims, whether it's a victim advocate or something, but someone with a legal background, because this is like, it's like trying to learn Mandarin Chinese, but having to decipher it from wingdings, okay? Unless you've been watching a lot of court, a lot of trials, and I'm, like, 2 years into it, and I still don't understand vagaries of law, but I sort of understand this. I mean, it seems like it's politically motivated, it's fear-based, there's some sort of shenanigans and chicanery going on in the background. So, you plant the seeds of a conspiracy if you don't explain things to people. Again, this is like learning an entirely new language, um, and the state really drops the ball on this, I think. While the state made the controversial shift in charges based on the scientific opinion of their expert, they are now trying to limit the efficacy of how the defense might use the agreed upon diagnosis, according to the Ventura County Star. A pretrial motion sought to keep jurors from hearing arguments about involuntary intoxication and specifically the idea that maybe more than the devil's lettuce was in the bong that night. I mean, that seems more likely to me just based on TV, but Judge David Woolery denied both motions. Prosecutors appear intent to try and dispute that argument. Quote, the law says when someone voluntarily ingests an intoxicant and bad things happen, like a DUI, the person responsible is the person who voluntarily ingests the intoxicant and does the bad thing. Senior Deputy District Attorney Audrey Naz I'm I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight this. Audrey N. said in her opening statement, according to a courtroom report by The Star, quote, we don't get to blame other people when we do something bad because we wanted to get high. After Spetcher got high, she thought she was dead and accepted psychotic episode. According to Miss N, the state's attorney, she believed the only way to bring herself back to life was to kill Mr. O'Melia. Quote, "The more she stabbed him, the more she felt like she was bringing herself back to life," the prosecutor told the jury. In the end, a man she had dated for just a few weeks was stabbed all over his body. I mean, I can't imagine. After and she went after the dog. I am done with this. There is no way that this was only the devil's lettuce. She then, went on to cut and slash herself despite being shocked over and over by police with a stun gun. You guys, this sounds I wanna see the toxicology report. Body-worn camera footage shown in court last week reportedly showed. The attempt on her life was only stopped after the ninth blow from a police officer's steel baton. I mean, that sounds definitely like something not lettucey, if you will. She reportedly lowered her head and cried as the video played. Uh, Spetcher's mother reportedly began to sob as well and then fell onto the courtroom's floor. The judge paused the proceedings so the grieving woman could be helped up and out. The defendant will testify in her defense as the trial goes on. Her defense says she has no history of mental illness, so there was no way she could have known that taking those hits would cause a psychotic break. Defense attorney Robert Schwartz has also said that his client was pressured to smoke by Mr. Amelia. Ma'am. She has been out on bail since 2018. She now faces a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison for the manslaughter charge. She could, in theory, spend slightly longer behind bars if she's convicted because the state has also accused her of killing Amelia under a special circumstance allegation, a Golden State legal add-on akin to a sentencing enhancement. These special circumstances include committing great violence, being a danger to society, and using a weapon. She has pleaded not guilty to all the charges. So, yeah, I will definitely let me write down her name and we will try to get some more info because this is an interesting case because mainly because I want to definitely see the toxicology report because this is not ringing true. I mean, there is a possibility, but it doesn't seem like the thing. In redonkulous news, and I try to stay away from the Mesopotamia stuff, but this is just awful, okay? Regardless of what your beliefs are, you have a job to do, and the fact that these people did this is just ridiculous. Good morning, Ghostery. I'm glad I didn't double delete you. Ah. About 300 Jewish people heading to DC, Israel rally left stranded by bus drivers staging a deliberate and malicious walkout. Y'all, just for the love of all that is Cheetos, eh, I understand that everyone, and I do mean everyone, is going to have an opinion on the goings on. And you are totally allowed to. I have my own thoughts. It but this is just dishonorable. I mean, for the love of all that's holy. Hundreds of Jewish people headed to Tuesday's pro-Israel rally in DC were left stranded when bus drivers staged a walk-off in a major Jewish organization said. The quote anti-protest left a chartered flight from Detroit about 300 people on the Dulles Airport tarmac for about 11 hours before they were sent back home, causing them to miss the entire March for Israel event. Quote, "I thought it was nuts. I thought it was crazy that we were blocked from getting to the rally." Jonathan Kaufman told the Post, adding that there were frantic calls to find out what was happening as they were stranded for hours. Quote, "Our right to assembly is a constitutional right, and this is straight up blocking that." You still have that right, sir. What you did was you got screwed over by a company. You should go after a breach of contract. The company has nothing to do with you organizing and or exercising your right to protest. People are not smart. Kaufman and 900 others hopped on 3 private planes out of Detroit chartered by the Jewish Federation of Detroit, which also booked several buses to transport the massive group to the march at DC's National Mall. A third of the passengers weren't allowed to leave the tarmac. However, after several buses failed to show up on the tarmac at their 10:30 a.m. landing, according to the Federation spokesperson. So it looks like they were all deplaning and then there were no buses to get them there. The drivers had organized a massive sick day or sick out to prevent Jewish ralliers from attending the much anticipated march, just leaving a few available to meet their obligations. Quote, "We have learned from the bus company that this was caused by a" so basically everyone just decided to show their ass. It's a job, you work for them, I'm sorry, but if you decided to do this, everyone has lost their doggone mind. The bus company, which the Federation repeatedly refused to name, told the Jewish Federation of Detroit that a quote, "significant number of drivers called out sick when they learned that they would be taking hundreds of Jewish Americans to the pro Israel rally." The organization's David Kursman told reporters at a press conference Tuesday, quote, in the way that this action prevented Jewish Americans from exercising their freedom to speak, protest, assemble, gather today at the nation's capital, to me, that was a malicious act, and it was an act targeting the Jewish community. As far as their participation in this rally, Kurtzman said, again, everyone. The right to protest only applies to the government. It does not apply to private companies. The Conference of Presidents of Major Jewish Organizations CEO William Daroff, one of the March for Israel's founders and organizers, also confirmed that, quote, "bus drivers refused to take them to the pro-Israel event." Those who were left behind spent roughly 3 hours on the tarmac before they finally were funneled into several buses, from which they were swiftly ejected after it turned out the buses weren't for their group. Because charter flights cannot depart the tarmac without pre organized vehicular transport, those passengers who were unable to board the limited buses were forced back onto the plane and missed the entire day long rally. They were also forced to wait hours for their team members who did make it to the rally to finally return before the chartered flights could go back to Michigan. Throughout the day-long fumble, organizers from the Jewish Federation of Detroit were giving updates to the passengers about the supposed counter-protest through the speaker on the plane. Kaufman, who spent hundreds of dollars to attend the march with his mother, called the walkout, oh, for the love of goodness. Okay, it was just, yeah, it was all the douchiness. Good morning, Digger 420. So, yeah, I mean, this bus thing is douchey. I would have probably picked an out of Washington bus company if I realized that people were politically turned on and were going to Washington, but I don't know. I mean, people just seem to be all crazy. The massive group was initially told buses were struggling to get through security to enter the concourse and reach the tarmac before they were told the truth. About a half an hour later, we were told that there was an ongoing walkout of bus drivers from the company that was hired to drive us into the city, and that the shortage of drivers was making it very difficult to get us into DC. So awesome. So these bus drivers were basically like, "Nah." It it seems like, again, that's really a gross bit of behavior. This is not how you win debates. If you want to have people come together and maybe figure out a solution that leads to less cray cray, doing stunts like this isn't going to work. In a story from my Mo Schmo area of MLS, we have what the actual Walmart. I was shocked to find my husband cheated on me with my mom. Uh, well, that is one thing I'll never have to worry about. What the actual hell? Mama said there'd be days like this, but not like this. An Idaho mom of two named Catherine claimed that her husband cheated on her with her own mother and revealed that it was her grandmother who told her about the affair. Good God. Okay, y'all, is it bad that I wanna be invited to that Thanksgiving? I mean, I'll still do, like, turkey and stuff because I love put what is wrong with my dog? Y'all, I cannot. But and then Granny's the one to tell you. You know what? I have a love-hate relationship with the punniness of the New York Times, and this time, y'all, you nailed it. Catherine posted several TikTok videos on the platform where she goes by Catanacious, detailing the ordeal, the Sun reported. Quote, I heard we were exposing our husband's mistress, read the text over one video that included a picture of Catherine and her purported former husband, followed by a photo of her mother, accompanied by a text reading, quote, my mother. The video has more than 9.6 million views since it was posted 2 days ago. I don't do the TikToks, so I don't know. Uh, but okay. She then shared a three-part series of clips explaining how the soul-crushing situation reportedly occurred. Catherine said there were big red flags about her ex-husband and her mother's illicit relationship. Ew, would she be her own sister/grandma? No, wait. So if the ex and the mom got together and they had another kid, that would be her half sister slash homewrecker. Look, I don't know. I'll need to do some serious family circling rather than a family tree. We will figure this out. But what in the actual hell? She ultimately ignored the signs because she didn't want to believe it was happening. I didn't want to believe that two people I trusted most in the whole world would betray me like that. Y'all, that no way. The first odd thing she noticed was how her husband and mother started to greet each other differently. Instead of an awkward side hug, her mom would wrap her arms around her husband's neck and he would swing her around in a circle to say hello. Oh my God. Y'all, I would pay, well, a dollar, and then I'd have to pay bail money if my husband tried to do that to my mom. Ew. Oh, no, no, this is the next oh, no. This next thing, he'd done be in the backyard, it'd be an Earl had to go. Some of you don't know what happened to Earl, and it shows. He also started giving my mom foot rubs in front of me. Ew, you married a footy. Get him the heck out of there. Ooh. She said on Valentine's Day, just 2 days before she found out about their affair, he bought flowers for her as well as for her mom, but the biggest red flag is that on multiple occasions with multiple witnesses, my mother and ex-husband would say, if Catherine and her dad were ever to tragically pass away simultaneously, we could totally end up together." Ugh. I love it. A Neff son. Good lord. That wins the internet, JK Bug. Oh my goodness. In response to questions about how she didn't realize something was going on sooner, she said it was because she was, quote, brainwashed by her mom in childhood and simply didn't want it to be real. Look, denial is a powerful thing. But it was her mom's mother who helped her realize she wasn't, quote, "crazy." She's claimed her grandma came to her and told her she thought something might be going on between her mother and her husband because of the odd behavior she noticed between the duo. She told her grandmother she wasn't sure how to confront the pair, if she should even confront them at all. Quote, "She encouraged me that the truth always comes to light, and she encouraged me to just sit and wait. I wasn't sure if I was gonna follow that advice," she said, adding it turned out she didn't have to because she got proof that she needed later that night. "Oh, well, miss, you got some boobage showing right there. I'm not like, rock it if you've got it, but I'm just letting you know. But you are looking for a new man, so never mind. As you were, if you were." She said one night in February of last year, when her twin daughters were little babies, she FaceTimed her husband to ask when he would be done with work, since it was already after 9 p.m. At that time, he was a DoorDash delivery driver, and Catherine said she noticed that he was in a different area than what he said he was. They fought for a bit, then it got worse. All of a sudden, I heard a woman's voice, Catherine said. He turned over to his passenger seat as if listening to that voice speaking. She said she grew very suspicious and asked her husband if there was another woman with him, but he simply called her crazy. Quote, "My heart was beating out of my chest." She said, "It took me a few minutes to have a panic attack, cry, and process that I think I'm right." Catherine called her husband a few more times after he reportedly refused to show her the passenger seat. At this, yeah, of course. I hope she's not staying with him. At this point, I'm 99% sure it's my mom. I just had this gut feeling, she said. Ew. Look, I would have to spray myself with Lysol and him with holy water and Lysol. Then she decided to call her little sister because she still lived at home with her parents. Her sis, she said, confirmed her fear that the two were together after all. Her sister said her husband picked up her mother to go door dashing with him earlier that day and allegedly asked her sister not to tell her. Catherine later rang her mom, who didn't answer until the eighth phone call when she admitted to her daughter that she was with her husband. She demanded they both come to Catherine's home, and both her mom and husband denied any affair until the following day. She said she left with her children immediately. Amen. Okay, oh no. And then the situation took another turn. I'm like at the edge of I am like, I am gonna get my Virginia Slims out. We are gonna get like some bonbons. Y'all, I'm going full 1984 dynasty. I'm just saying. Okay, let's listen in because it took another turn, y'all. Quote, "The night that I left with my daughter, my mother moved into my house with my husband," Catherine said. The schnell she did. Look, I don't care. You will not be in my house. Quote, "They continued to play house until I served my husband with divorce papers that also stated that I would be filing for 100% custody of our children." Sister, amen. And also, mother, grandma, come to the front of the congregation. You must be excommunicated from the ladyship, group too. You are now just a female. I don't even know what the hell you will have to do to repent and get your ladyshipness back. Because as of right now, I think Jesus might be your only help, but you are out of the sisterhood club. The ladyship sisterhood club out. Done excommunicated 2 people today. I'm exhausted. When Mr. Mo comes home, "What did you do today?" "Well, I excommunicated Jada Pinkett Smith and this weird grandma husband stealer, from the Church of Ladyism." I don't he You know what? Mr. Mo rarely wants to know what's going on in my head for his safety. But let's continue. She claimed her husband eventually grew tired of her mom and kicked her out, and that her dad accepted her cheating mom back with open arms. Uh, to this day, my parents act like the affair never happened, she said. In their words, the affair never would have happened if Catherine wasn't such a horrible daughter and horrible wife. Deuces. It's unclear how much she maintained contact with her parents, if at all. The Post reached out to Catherine for comment. Many commenters below her videos couldn't believe the affair had happened. My The way my jaw dropped, one person said. Sister or person, I don't wanna assume your gender, but yes. Oh my god, yes. "I'm so sorry, I'll never understand how anyone could think this would be okay," another said. "The biggest betrayal was done by your mom. Usually I blame the husband, but this is beyond wow. I'm sorry," the third said. Thank you for whoever put this in my thing. This was just interesting. Okay, this woman, I'm it's a 3 for 3. We're gonna have to excommunicate another one by the end of this article. I can just feel it. I'm so stupid. A mom accused of shooting 2 young sons in the head claims she fired 4 times in 30 seconds by accident. Look, I have not taken the hits off the bong that the lady in front of this, Newsy News Nooner did. You're gonna have to come up with a less stupid story, but let's continue. I will give you a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, but I feel like I might be excommunicating a fellow chickadee again. A detective interviewing a Kentucky woman charged with murdering her 2 sons, age 6 and 9, by shooting the children in the head at their Shepherdsville home in court Tuesday said that the subject claimed to have fired 4 shots in 30 seconds by accident. Okay. n- Now, okay. So first you have to get the firearm from a secured location. Now, I'm guessing you're not that responsible, but let's go ahead and give you the benefit of the doubt. Then you have to load it unless you are, stay strapped, stay clapped kinda thing. Then, you know, let's see, you have to accidentally pull the safety and then touch the you know, the fun button, the trigger. Are you I just for the love of all that is ma'am, sell some Kirby vacuums to some other crazy person, no way. And welcome, Debbie W. and Hey Joe. But, okay, this is your story and you are trying to sell it, ma'am. Tiffany Ann Catherine Lucas, a 32-year-old from Bullitt County, is accused of murdering her sons, Maurice Peanut Baker Jr. and Jaden Howard, in a bedroom on November 8th, last Wednesday. The next day, Lucas was arraigned by video without an attorney present. A judge entered a not guilty plea on Lucas's behalf and jailed her in the Bullitt County Detention Center on $2 million bond. On Tuesday, Lucas appeared to have legal representation for an in-person hearing where Bullitt County Detective Richard Bale spoke on what the suspect allegedly told him about the shooting. Bale revealed that investigators learned 4 gunshots were fired in 30 seconds and that both victims were shot in the head. Ma'am. According to portions of testimony aired by local CBS affiliate, I'm writing this ma'am's name down because we might have to watch this because I can't even imagine the eye rollery that this detective is having to refrain from. Tiffany Ann Catherine, could you have more names? Lucas. It, mm, it ironically happened in Bullitt County. But I have to see this televised because the eye rollery that this detective is probably having to refrain from, Yeah, I used to be called, Pumpkin and my brother was Peanut, so or it was switched around depending on, stuff. So, I can understand Peanut. Yeah, it was in, let's see. Lucas, when questioned, allegedly remarked, I'm in such a bad spot," and claimed the shooting was somehow an accident. Lucas also allegedly said, "I'm so stupid. I would never do anything like this unless someone manipulated me," according to local Fox affiliate WDRB's account of the detective's testimony. "Good afternoon, Nikki, blue-haired, Bible lady." The suspect then made statements that she was being manipulated through Facebook, through the internet, through Wi-Fi, through Facebook, through okay, she repeated things. Uh, so she repeated things twice through the Facebook and Wi-Fi, and she was being manipulated into doing what she did, the detective reportedly testified. Last week, Law and Crime reported that the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office responded after 11 a.m. on November 8th to the Bentwood Drive home where the reporting witness found the victims in the bedroom shot and covered in blood. The complainant also stated that the gun was on the bed. After the shooting, a neighboring husband and wife saw Lucas lying down in their driveway and a man called 911. So his it was just his nickname, it was Maurice Peanut Baker Jr., so maybe they called him Peanut since he was a junior. Yeah, you can't be accidentally manipulated. I don't know. Or let's see. Bullitt County Sheriff's Office Deputy, Colonel Alex Payne revealed to Law and Crime Sidebar podcast, that they did discover a shocking scene inside the house. Lucas had allegedly told her neighbors that her kids were dying. Hours after first responders swarmed the crime scene, Maurice and Jaden unfortunately passed away at the Children's Hospital in Louisville. Colonel Payne told Jesse Weber on Sidebar podcast that the victims were, quote, shot in an area that would not be survivable by anyone. And I'm going to take a moment here just to look, the people that work at good children's hospitals and EMS and, good officers that have to go into these just terrible scenes and have to try to save these poor babies. I can't imagine, trying to put all this work into trying to save these 2 little boys and then having them pass away. So, I hope that they have systems in place to help these people because I know first responders have to see some of the most horrible stuff, uh, you know, that people should never have to see, and they work to save people, and, sometimes they don't win, unfortunately, they just can't fix things. So, hopefully, those people that try to help and save these little boys, they're getting the help and maybe mental health help that they need because I can't imagine the kind of stress that puts on you, especially, going into a scene like that. They were alive to the best of our knowledge when they were transported by EMS to the hospital and passed away at the hospital. The decades-long enforcement officer said he's never seen anything like this in Bullitt County before. Quote, "I can tell you, in my 40 plus years of being in this line of work, there are 3 things that I've seen, and it can be these things individually or it can be these things in combination," Colonel Payne said. Quote quote, "You can have an individual who is suffering from some type of mental illness. You can have an individual that has some type of substance abuse problem, or you can have that individual be simply evil, or it can be a combination of those things. I haven't seen any other outliers other than those 3. So right now, I guess it's anybody's guess as to which one of those she covers." Sir, I'm going with door number 3 and more honesty, but Lucas reportedly once served a month in jail in a drug possession case. In an initial on camera statement after the shooting, Colonel Payne said that Maurice and Jaden had different fathers. It was later reported that Jaden's father passed away in 2019. On sidebar, the chief deputy said that the horrific shooting has left the community and victims' family members in shock. It's shocking. It's something you never want to confront, but unfortunately we have. However, we have a strong community here in Bullitt County, and we're supporting the loved ones, the family of these young children, he said. So, it's terribly sad and welcome before I go. And then, so I have written this down and I will probably do a stream or a video on this once it gets closer to the trial. I just ugh, this woman. Okay, Thorbert. Oh, for the love of Cheetos. Now Fry's like, someone else is getting attention. You can see the minute Fry realizes someone's getting attention other than him, he's like, "Do I go over there? Thor's mean to me. Or do I chase Thor? He's also mean to me." So, in happier news, because we're gonna end with happier news, or at least Florida man news. Uh, 5 young alligators found in a Florida house, the state says. What was the owner's plan? Well, I don't know, but this sounds like something it sounds like something Griffin would do, to be honest with you. My youngest, most feral. If given a chance, I think thank you, MNHS, for popping in. And thank you. I hope I made your workday a little bit better. Sorry, it was sort of a sad story. You kind of caught me in between Florida person, grandma, mom, adultery, and that kind of thing. So hopefully next time you pop in, you'll have a funner story. An anonymous tip left wildlife officers to 5 young alligators in a man's bathroom, and his intent was to keep them as pets, according to Florida's Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. I cannot. The discovery was made October 23rd in a two-story home on St. Cloud, about 30 miles south of Orlando. Wildlife officers wrote in a report. A tipster reported the owner was, quote, keeping juvenile alligators in the bathtub, as you do. Apparently, when you move to Florida, you just get a bathtub of alligators. 2 wildlife officers visited the home and searched the owner's bedroom and revealed 5 juvenile alligators lounging in a tub of an adjoining bathroom, officials said. The reptiles appeared to have been just over a foot long. The owner, quote, stated he caught juvenile alligators from a pond in a park called the Estates near his residence, officials said. Details of when and why he took the alligators were not revealed, but investigators said he was intending to take them as pets. I could understand one alligator. I mean, look, I could stretch my ability to sort of understand one alligator. 5 alligators, you're gonna get eaten in your sleep. Yeah. Uh, yeah, no idea. Alligators can reach more than 14 feet in length and 1,000 pounds in Florida. So possibly d look, that and snapping turtles are why I don't go in lakes unless it is a pontoon boat season, and pontoon boat season means that it is White Claw season, and, if you get enough sun, get enough wind, and enough White Claw, you forget that there are snapping turtles and possibly mutant alligators like Lake Placid in the lake, when I used to be able to deal with a lot of different sensations on my legs. Yeah, I can understand fluffy things. Okay, Squab Bob. I'm so, maybe 5 of them at 5,000 pounds and oh gosh, if 5 times look, a big old number of length? No. The homeowner was given a 1 citation for the personal possession of wildlife without a Class, 1 or Class 2 permit, officials said. Uh, he was just going to put them in his mouth around his residence. I c I have heard that alligator meat is actually really good. Supposedly, it tastes like chicken-ish? I don't know. Officers then released the 5 alligators into Lake oh, Tehopakiliga. Look, y'all are trying to kill me. Uh, and then which is about 10 miles west of St. Cloud, the report states. So, there you are. That is the Newsy News. I yeah, I can imagine I mean, just teenage boys, just me. Just just going out and remember when eggs were expensive, holy goodness. Oh, oh, moat. Okay. I can understand the moat idea. Now that you no worries, I totally get it. Autocorrect and my inability to press the right button gets me in trouble all the time, but let's round it up. So, we have Will Smith denies that he had a same-sex relationship. Mr. Smith, I don't care. No, most people don't. Find someone that loves you better than Jada Pinkett Smith. Uh, this woman apparently is going with the claim that she had 3 hits from the devil's lettuce in a bong, and it totally caused her to break with reality. I have written her name down and I do wanna see the tox report because she has behaved in a way that I don't think anyone of us have ever seen anyone, on the devil's lettuce act. Uh, you had 300 people stranded on the tarmac because that wanted to go support a pro-Israel rally. When they got to DC, they were stuck on the tarmac because when bus drivers that were supposed to take them to the rally learned that they were going to the rally, uh, you know what? They decided that they were gonna call in sick all that day because they just didn't want to. They just did not want to deal with, doing that. Apparently, if your husband starts giving your mom foot massages in front of you, keep an eye on your wife or on your mom, because apparently this woman has uploaded a bunch of TikToks about how her mom stole her ex-husband. I don't do the TikTok thing, but this may be a new avenue, and this was on my Mo Schmo, link in the Discord on MLS. So if you are a member at MLS, you can go ahead and put news ideas, and I will try to get them into the rotation. We have this mom who claims that she shot both of her sons by accident. I can't. Um, oh wait, that's for tomorrow or that's for this evening. And then a guy tried to, keep 5 alligators as a pet. Now, to be honest, I have 5 cats, 1 dog, and 6 kids. So, maybe I don't have room to talk. That has been Newsy News at noon, and it is 1:04 Eastern, so you guys can get back to trials if you are on a lunch break and you are just getting some quick food, and then I will work on getting some, I've got a couple of videos that I wanna do, and I would love to do a stream about the Spanish teacher, sentencing the kids who killed the Spanish teacher. I watched the testimony of one of their dads, and it was really heartbreaking, and I think it would be something interesting to go over because a lot of times, we kind of forget, or it's easy to forget, that these perpetrators have families too, and M a lot of these families tried their best to keep their kids, loved ones out of trouble, and they are just as devastated by what their loved one has done as, the victim's family are, and I think sometimes we forget about that, and it's really incredibly moving testimony. So I do wanna have a stream about that. It might be today or it might be tomorrow, and I will be putting up a member preview, and then for everyone, book recommendations because I love to talk about my Fabio and semi-shirtless books. I figured I would let you guys know. Let me see if I can, find something to redirect you guys to. That is a good point. So let me get into here. Alright, my channel. I should have had this up. I don't know why I didn't. Where is okay. I am looking to see who is up. Let's see. Um, would you guys like to go to either Shizzy Wiznut's, drama-free one-year celebration, the maternity ward shooter trial? Broken Baker is on. Uh, it is, chat choice. I can send you guys to Baker. Oh, Nicholas is live. Okay, I will do that. Let me get to the doodad. Alright. You guys should be redirected. Ta-da! I am one day I will be semi-competent. Oh, okay. I will see you guys this evening and hopefully have that book recommendation for members, uh, tomorrow, and then later on then the next day for everyone. I am working on getting more members content out. Last week really threw me, so I'm trying to get better at everything. And have a wonderful day. I will see you at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Please like, subscribe, and share, and all the YouTubey things. And thank you so much for mods and everyone here for keeping me company on my lunch break. Have a wonderful day, guys. Doo-doo. Find the video.